Well, it's Sunday, March something. Not sure what the date is here. I guess I can look at my phone and tell you. It's the 16th. And I'm back here on the neighbors on Brian's looking for the other side to the heavy 9. Denton found his right side right in here, I believe. This is where he explained it to me. And this was actually all covered in snow, you know, last time I was in here. So now, as you guys can see, everything's melted. And I figured I'd zigzag around in here a little bit and see if I could get lucky and stumble upon this shed, the other side to it. I really want to find the other side because I think it's a deer. Well, I know it's a deer that one of us should likely shoot next year. Certainly going to be one of the oldest bucks around here. He'll be 5.5. So I'd like to find this other side because it'd be really cool to have these sheds to put with them once one of us whacks them. Being pretty optimistic, but I think that, you know, if one of us should get a good chance at him. Turn you on if we come across anything. So right now I'm on Onyx and I'm just looking at my track, and now I'm just trying to cover all these holes. You know, when I zoom out, I'll show you, you know, all these. Well, when you look at it zoomed out, it don't look like there's many holes, but right in here there's quite a few areas I haven't covered. So I'm just using Onyx to go through these spots and marking them off essentially as I go through. And you can use the direction feature on here. You hit that and it shows you, you know, what direction you're going. And I want to go right this way, and to cover this little gap right here I haven't walked, which is right through here. Pretty much all those open gaps were areas that there was still a bunch of snow previously, and now obviously there's no snow. Well, I've just been covering kind of the areas in my track that I'm not or there, you know, all the areas that there's holes in my track. And right here I see a shed. Let's go grab it. I have no idea. It don't look like the other side to the heavy 9, unfortunately. It just looks like a 2-year-old shed, but it's a shed nonetheless. Okay. Yep, I have his other side. That was a match to one that we found out in the food plot. Nice find either way. Still not the one that I was after, but we'll take it. At this point, I've covered every hole in my track, and so now I know I'm looking over stuff I've already looked over, but the thing is, when I first started looking for these sheds, there was quite a bit of snow on the ground, so there's definitely sheds that were covered when I first looked that may be uncovered at this point. Oh crap, got a wet foot. We're gonna keep after it and keep looking. Part of me thinks that that buck shed that or lost that other horn right in the swamp, because where he was feeding and where he was bedding, especially according to where Denton found his right side, I know that he was traveling. In order for him to get to where he was feeding in the old garden plot, he was traveling right through some really nasty stuff to get there. And I know he lost both his antlers in the same 24-hour period, because I had pictures of him with both sides and then the next evening without them. So he lost both of those antlers, you know, right close to the same time frame, which makes me believe that he probably lost the first one in his bed where Denton found it, and then the second one I'm afraid he lost on the way to the food plot, which I'm coming to find might mean is literally in the swamp. And if it's in there, the odds of finding it are going to be pretty tough. I've kind of looked everywhere around where Denton found the heavy nine's right side, and I'm not coming up with anything. So it's not looking good for the left side of the heavy nine here. I want to show you guys this rub right here. Look at that. Holy cow. This is a big buck bedroom right here. Well, I found shed number 2, but it certainly isn't any of the ones I'm looking for. Right here under this hemlock tree lays a tiny little guy. It's a shed nonetheless. The heavy nine has proven to be my arch nemesis. Well, here's the match from today. Talking to the camera. Right there. This is the match everybody wants to see though, right here. This is the big guy. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 matches right here. This one needs a match, and these two need a match. The other match I gave to Denton, and then I gave one to Brian, and then I gave Scar's 2-year-old shed to Carl. So we're missing a few sheds here from before, but these 3 still have antlers left out there somewhere. And then there's one side to the heavy nine out here still somewhere. So we're definitely finding most of them though. There's only a few left out there. Well, it's been a few days since we were out here looking for sheds, and there's really only one other shed in this area that I'd really like to find, and that's the other side to the heavy 9. The neighbor found his right side, and his left side is still here somewhere, and that's really the only other big one that would be nice to locate. So we're gonna walk around and see if we can't find it, and maybe we'll stumble into something else. The other antlers that I'd like to find that are less likely to find are the heavy 8 from last year when he was a 2-year-old. I never actually found those sheds last year, mostly because I wasn't really looking where he was, but it would be cool to pick those up from last year if we were able to. So we'll walk around. It's a beautiful day out here. Well, I was just riding the e-bike around on some deer trails and came right across the match to a 3-year-old buck that I found the other side to a few weeks ago, about 180 yards from here. Awesome. That's a pretty darn good find right there. Good deal. My new e-bike might be lucky. Well, I'm back here in the hidey hole plot cleaning some sticks up, and there's a turkey that's like just came walking out over here. It's just walking up the edge of the food plot right there. Doesn't seem too awfully bothered by me. It's pretty cool because there was never ever any turkeys back in here before, you know, I made all these food plots, because it was so thick, and you know, there wasn't any reason for turkeys to be back here due to predation, and there wasn't any food for them or open ground, and it's making it so that turkeys are actually in here and spending time in here, which was never the case before. So just another benefit of having some food plots. Now it's right over there in front of the stump 3, walking right down the path now. So just another benefit to food plots. Well, we got a nice bonfire going back here in the plot. Got a ton done today. I got all this stuff pretty much right in this area cleared out. Still working on all those treetops over there, but this was previously all treetops right here, so we have this all cleared out, and it's all burning right now as we speak. It's been burning for a few hours. I'm gonna get the rest of this one cut up and dragged over to that fire, and we're gonna get after that stuff over there. But this is a lot of work, a lot of manual labor, but it'll be worth it once we get this all cleared out and these stumps out of here and this is going to be, there's going to be plenty of food in here to hold deer throughout the season, which is what you want. And I'm going to get, you know, before the end of the summer, I'm going to get all this cleared out, and I'm going to have a straight line of sight from the stump 4 all the way to the back of the blinds here. I'm just walking over where you guys can see. So as you can see the orange cone, I think from that blind to the very back of this food plot is 280 yards, and I'll be able to access up the creek, and I'll never step foot in here during rifle season unless I'm trying to shoot one with a bow or something. Then I'll do that. But otherwise, this is going to be entirely untouched back here. You know, monitor what's going on with cell cams, and there's going to be plenty of food, plenty of bedding cover, no pressure. Perfect scenario to kill mature bucks consistently. I think with Glade this year, we were one day away from him living down here. You know, we didn't have any snow, and it was November 27th. Was the day before the storm that we got a couple feet of snow, and had he lived one more day, I think he would have been right in my wheelhouse here. But he got killed on my birthday. But I think that given that big storm we got, he would have been right back down in here with the food and the cover and everything. But I needed one more day for him to live, and he didn't make it. But that's okay. That's what it's all about, getting them to maturity. And you know, you can take pride in the neighbors killing mature bucks too, because you took part in it. Glade wouldn't have been, you know, 4.5 if I didn't let him live at 2.5 and 3.5. So, and that goes to show with any of them. You know, if you kill them premature, then nobody's going to kill a mature buck. You know, you're taking away the opportunity of your neighbors. You're taking away the opportunity of everybody by shooting them when they're not ready to be shot yet. But you know, it all, you know, and then you get into the conversation, well, I'm going on a rant, but you got to get what you want out of hunting, and if shooting anything's what you want, then that's absolutely okay. But for me personally, I want to kill mature bucks, and in order to do that, you got to let the immature ones go. So I'm just talking to myself at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this shed hunting season. We ended up finding a total of about 60 sheds in all. Found some really good ones, matched up the heavy 8, which is the one that I was most excited about. Found lots of other decent bucks as well, as you guys can see. I think my wife's ready for me to get these off the kitchen table, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We've got things starting to green up outside, and I'm not gonna be doing any more walking around. We got turkey season starting here, so looking forward to that. And I also wanted to mention that the Ravlin Hill Buck Pool and Banquet is going to be on June 28th. It's going to be from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. There's going to be food and drinks there all day with a 60-yard 3D indoor range. So if you guys are available on June 28th, feel free to stop into Ravlin Hill Archery. I'll be there all day long, and you can bring your antlers to be scored as well if you're interested in that. So if anybody has any questions, just leave me a comment and I'll answer them for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.